Hi, in today's video we'll be talking about the power of tiny habits from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, and talk about how small habits compound over time, just like these small drops which may seem insignificant but fill the pot and overflow it. So what is this water drop effect? James Clear focuses on being 1% better each day, which can turn out to be 38 times better by the end of the year, or 3800% better by end of the year if we improve 1% each day. Success is something which is a lagging measure of our daily habits and not a one-time effort, right? So we continue doing our daily habits and eventually we'll see the impact. But if we just want to see that, okay, today I have put in some efforts and I'm not seeing the result, that is not how it works. They improve over time, they compound over time, and the small wins of every day in self-improvement space, in your personal fitness space, or whichever area you start to focus upon, they compound over time, eventually giving you multiple small wins and leading to a big transformation into your life. He focuses on some identity-based habits in terms of switching from a model where you're gathering motivation every day to work on a task, rather than that to transform your identity itself. So rather than saying that I want to run, transform your identity as I am a runner, right? So like a tree would grow from a simple seed. From this small identity habit, we can transform the life that we are expecting, the life we want to live. So the habits shape our identity and our identity shapes our habits. So it's a circular thing. And rather than focusing on what to achieve, if we focus on who we want to become, like I want to become the runner, not just that I want to run. So that makes every action become a vote for our wish to become that person we want to be. Coming to the habit loop, or the domino effect as he calls it. So there is this sequence of events that take place around there is a cue that triggers our brain to start a habit, and then there is a craving that provides some motivation, like seeing a delicious meal. Then there is a response, that is the actual habit. So James Clear talks about this habit loop, the domino effect, which makes a loop of our habits, so which goes through these 4 key parameters: the cue, the craving, the response, and the reward. So let us say the cue for me is, after brushing the teeth every morning, I will come and sit on my desk and create a video. I'll do the research process, I'll do the video creation, etc. The craving is, I have my YouTube studio, let us say, open on my machine, which shows statistics from the last video which went maybe viral and did really well, and that gives me a motivation to do the work. It's kind of a craving creation. The response is, I actually do the work, I actually do the script creation, do the video creation, video recording, video editing, and what is the reward? The reward is, like, after 1-2 hours of or more of work, I actually get to hit that post button on YouTube, and that itself is a reward in itself, that I was able to accomplish that one task of creating that entire thing. And that entire trigger, another day, another morning, I'll again brush the teeth and again come back and to my YouTube studio, and that keeps on repeating itself. And that is how our negative habits also get built, but he teaches us how to transform that into a positive one. The 4 laws of behavior of change is something which is the core to the book, and which is a recipe for success according to him. First of which is to make it obvious, to shine the spotlight on good habits. It goes pretty simply like design our environment in such a way that there are a lot of cues for good habits which are visible, like placing a book on the pillow, or stacking our habits in the way we just talked about, where we attach a new habit to the existing one. After I brush my teeth, I'll meditate, I'll create a video, I'll do something else of more importance. And being aware of the bad habit cues and removing them is another important aspect, like hiding the junk food out of sight. So he talks about how these 4 habits can help us accelerate or accentuate our good habits, and how the reverse of that can help us de-accelerate or remove the bad habits from life. Next is to make it attractive. So we pair our habits with something which we enjoy, like listening music while exercising. We use some temptation building. Secondly, only something we want to watch, like for example watch Netflix after something we need to do, like finish work. So it's like a system of reward, that the sweeter that bait is, the easier it is to catch, as they say. So the sweeter the reward is, the or more attractive this habit becomes. And thirdly, we surround ourselves with people whose habits we admire, whose behaviors are contagious. So if I want to be fit, I'm on Strava, I have my friends and colleagues who are fitness enthusiasts, who are running marathons, who are doing record runs, and when I keep seeing their runs every day, I'll be very motivated to work on my exercise routine as well. Third is to make it easy by streamlining the efforts to build momentum. So he says, firstly, to reduce friction about doing things, make good habits easier and bad habits harder. Like lay out your workout clothes night before so that you don't have to think twice. Secondly, he talks about using this 2-minute rule. Just start small, just commit yourself to a 2-minute habit. So if you want to go to gym and do exercise regularly, just commit that I'll go to the gym, talk to the receptionist and come back, and that's it. Thirdly, he talks about automating the habits wherever possible, like setting reminders and doing the meal prepping, etc. Fourth, he talks about making it rewarding. So where we celebrate the small wins. So attach immediate rewards firstly to your habits, like enjoy a cup of tea after finishing work, or something similar. Secondly, he talks about how tracking progress visually with habit trackers, checking off days on a calendar, etc. can work. He talks about thirdly the avoiding any punishments for slip-ups, and being not too harsh on ourselves, focusing on getting back quickly, which if there is one day of miss, we should not let it extend to 2 days. Maybe second day we come back and show up, but not actually punish ourselves for something like that. Then he talks about this plateau of latent potential. So like for bamboo, you might have seen, right? It may take 4 to 5 years to actually just show up above the ground, and somebody who's watering the plant may feel extremely disappointed with the efforts that they are putting in and the plant not growing. But eventually, when it starts growing in very short amount of time, it is able to touch feet and feet of height. So growth often feels invisible, just like the bamboo growth. So the underground the building doesn't show up, and but when it does, the results are really great. Results are delayed because change is happening slowly, and but eventually it happens, certainly similar to the bamboo growth. And obviously we should trust the process. We should keep nurturing our good habits, keep watering the plant of the seed of good habits inside ourselves. And even if the progress isn't obvious, we should keep on reminding ourselves of this bamboo example where it takes many years actually before the seed shows any signs of plant above the ground. So the environment design is around how we can shape our surroundings to make good habits bloom and bad habits wither. That is something important. Place our cues for good habits in obvious places. Keep keep fruits visible in the counter in the kitchen, remove all negative distracting apps from the phone, remove all things that trigger the bad habits, create a habit friendly ecosystem where everything around us supports our goals, right? Mastering the art of showing up. So sometimes it feels like it won't matter if I show up or not, but it's each day of showing up is like the pebble in the pond effect, where starting sometimes is the hardest part, but eventually when we do, it creates ripples of progress. Focus on action over perfection. So a lot of us are perfectionists. We want to wait till we become perfect in doing something. For example, in this video creation, I kept on procrastinating it because I wanted to be perfect with the editing skills, the voiceovers, whatnot. But just starting, even if it is not so perfect, helps, because consistency matters more than the intensity. Action matters more than the perfection. It's more important to show up for 5 minutes rather than once a week, right? So consistency is the better builder of habit. So simply by starting a habit, you're building momentum, and as the momentum keeps building, as you grow in that habit track, you become a master of that particular habit. Identity's role, we just talked about how identity can fix things. So the true change is about becoming someone new, not just about achieving goals. It's about becoming a runner, not just running. It's about having the results. So identity is who you are. With every habit, ask yourself, what kind of person am I proving myself to be? Right. The Goldilocks rule is another important thing that James Clear talks about, where he says that habits stick when they're not too hard, not too easy, just the right mix. So similar to when we go on and play in a game of badminton, let's say, if our opponent is too weak, we may feel it too easy, or if he's too much of an expert, we may feel too unmotivated to actually play the game. But only when the competence level of the the person on the other side of the court is just right, that is when you feel like going back and playing again and again and again. That's how habits stick. So stretch yourself slightly beyond your current abilities to stay motivated, but not too much beyond as well. So that's the key. Avoid boredom by adding variety while staying consistent. Try like new workout routines, try doing it in different ways, try different new creative ideas in the ways you do your habit, and track your progress, celebrate milestones, and so that you are staying engaged overall. Accountability and social influence he talks about is another important factor. The village mindset essentially here is that when you're in a village, everybody knows you, and if you start saying to everybody that from tomorrow onwards I'm going to run for 5 kilometers every day or 5 miles every day, you actually find yourself accountable. So you're surrounded by people who are supportive, who align with your goals. You join a community accountability group, which creates like an external motivation for you. And by making your goals public, you add a layer of commitment, and you avoid like negative influences that pull you away from desired habits. So that's the effect of accountability and social influence. And towards the last, all these 4 habits that we talked about, breaking bad habits is exactly the reverse recipe. So rather than showing up, now we make these invisible by removing the cues which trigger the habit. Instead of making it easy, we make these bad habits difficult by adding friction to make the habit harder. We put the snacks on not so easy location and find it difficult to find, those kind of things, and make it unattractive by focusing on negative consequences that habit will have, and make it unsatisfying by removing the rewards and adding an accountability social accountability to discourage any bad behaviors. habit tracking on this, we just talked about how visual cues can reinforce the consistency. Using a habit tracker, so a journal, an app, or just a notebook will help. Seeing our streak grow builds momentum and pride over time, right? And if you miss a day, don't miss two. Get back on track immediately. Don't punish yourself for missing a day, but just that don't miss for the second day. Try to come back there. If you miss second day also, that's fine, but do come back on the third day. Don't make it go in a row. So that is about the habit tracking. Long-term success happen through a keystone habit. James Clear says, where you focus on habits that ripple into other areas of life. Your regular exercise improves energy, mood, and productivity, which eventually help you do better work. Gratitude journaling fosters a positive mindset, which ripples in every other area of your life. Meditation for a better enhanced focus, patience, and emotional stability again is something which is creating a personality for you for a long-term success, be it in the work area, be it in any other areas of life. And the 2-minute rule is very simple, where you scale your goals down to 2-minute actions. And if you want to, let us say, become a writer or write, you just start by writing one sentence. And while it may seem insignificant, it actually works and has been proven to work for a lot of cases. And if you want to, let us say, work out, you start by putting your gym shoes. These tiny habits essentially help you overcome the inertia and lead to a sustained momentum of habits. And just to conclude the atomic habits, success is not just a one-time effort. It's a result of small, consistent efforts happening over time. Habits are the chisels that shape your life. They focus on the process, not just on the outcome. When you focus on the process, you are going to build better and get better and better in whatever habit you are trying to do, and keep showing up. Eventually the stone will break. The stone cutter keeps showing up. He keeps giving in those efforts, and eventually the rock breaks in one specific attempt. And that is the summary of atomic habits from me. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.